If you don't want to be caught with your pants down, literally, like Jim from 28 Days Later and Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead, then stay tuned because today I'm sharing my top 10 tips to survive a zombie apocalypse. When Rick Grimes woke up from his coma in the hospital after he was shot, and then him walking through the hospital, vulnerable, just sent shivers down my spine. I was so scared for him. There's blood and there's basically corpses in the hospital, and then when he walks toward the door that says "don't open," dead inside, I was literally screaming at him the entire time saying, "Do not open the door, walk away." And then when he was I think he went down, there was some passage he went through, he was trying to see with matches. That I was dying the entire time when he was walking down the passage trying to see with matches. That literally just, I was so scared for him the entire time. What happens if something, I hate jump scares. I was just thinking, like, every time he would strike a match, I was like, something is going to jump out and try to bite him or just bite him. Welcome to the Blue Zombie channel, where you'll find tips and tricks on how to survive any zombie apocalypse, no matter the subgenre, from slow-moving zombies from the 1960s to fast, modern zombies from the 2000s and early 2010s. I've got you covered. But on this channel, we're doing things a little differently. We're looking at zombie survival through the lens of the Hunger Games. May the odds be ever in your favor. Honestly, the Hunger Games trilogy is an underrated zombie survival guide, and I think zombie fans seriously overlook it. Anyway, enough rambling. I'm your host, Katniss W. Schofield, and let's begin. Okay, so there is a looming threat of a highly infectious virus that turns the people who contract it into flesh-eating rabid animals. You are scrolling on your phone, trying to learn as much as you can about the situation to mentally prepare yourself for the shit that is about to unfold. You're also going through your head and trying to remember as much as you can about runners and walkers. But then you realized that before the epidemic was unfolding, you had just finished reading the Hunger Games trilogy and wondered if you could ever apply what you have learned in a real-life situation. Well, my friends, this is your chance. In the early stages of the apocalypse, supermarkets will be empty within days. Fresh produce gone. Power outages, food spoils, supply chains collapsed. Canned goods will keep you alive, but they won't last forever. Once you have left the urban areas behind you that are festering with the infected, you'll have a better chance of survival. This is where Katniss Everdeen had the advantage. Her knowledge of wild edible plants and her ability to hunt kept her and her family alive long before she was forced to enter the games. If you don't know how to identify wild edible plants, you're gambling with your life. Learn now, not later. Let's be honest. How many of you have actually killed and gutted an animal? The answer is probably maybe one or two of you who actually have the guts to do it. No pun intended. Modern life has made us completely disconnected from where our food comes from. Katniss didn't have that luxury. Her protein came from squirrels, rabbits, wild turkey, even the occasional wild dog. If you want real survival level protein in a long-term collapse, hunting and field dressing is a non-negotiable. If you can't stomach it, you won't last. If you truly believe in zombie preparedness, you should already have a survival backpack ready. But what's actually inside it? First thing it should have is a sleeping bag for those of us that want to stay mobile in case we run into zombies or unfriendly survivors. A sleeping bag is also perfect if you find yourself in a situation where you need to find safety in a nice tall tree from a horde of freshly turned zombies. You can spend the night in a tree like Katniss did in her first Hunger Games. Assuming when you climbed the tree, the zombies didn't know your exact location. You should be able to leave the tree by morning when the zombies have stopped chasing you. But if you led the zombies to the tree you were sleeping in, congratulations, you are trapped and no one is coming to save you. Period. Now, I have watched a few zombie survival videos, and the tips given in the videos were very different on how to purify water. And the craziest tip I heard was to purify water with bleach. That is insane. The dude said to add a few drops in your water, wait a couple of hours, then it's safe to drink. We are not doing that. No. We are going to purify our water with iodine, like Katniss did in the Hunger Games. And, maybe after a few years, we'll rub it all over our bodies, like Dr. Kelson. Wire. Coils of wire are massively underrated. You can build snare traps for small game and set up perimeter trip systems to alert you to intruders, dead or alive. And remember, retrieve your kills quickly. Dead animals attract attention, and in an apocalypse, attention gets you killed. It is extremely important who is in your crew because you do not want a bunch of scaredy cats that you have to baby every time a horde of zombies approaches your camp. No. You need reliable people who specialize in certain skills, like a Gail Hawthorne or someone in frontline services like a Rick Grimes. These people are your best chances of hopefully riding out an apocalypse as smoothly as possible. Leadership and composure under pressure are everything. Please choose wisely. In the early days, matches and lighters are easy to find. Years later, not so much. So my friends, we're going to have to learn how to make a fire the old-fashioned way, like our ancestors did, by hitting two special rocks together and praying for a spark, which takes a whole lot of patience and skill. Or we could make fire the lazy way and buy a magnifying glass and pray that it does not break, because if it does, we are going to starve to death and we won't be able to purify our water. Fire means warmth, cooked food, purified water, and protection. No fire, you freeze, you starve, you lose morale. This is a core skill. Learn it. Let me be blunt. If you don't train now, you won't magically become athletic during a zombie outbreak. Even slow walkers can overwhelm someone who's unfit. You need endurance, sprintability, strength, stamina. Train like you're either running towards something or running away from something, like Tom Cruise. Because one day you just might be. Let's be honest here. People can barely function without technology. I have seen it firsthand with my sisters, how grumpy and moody they can become when they have not been able to make memes for more than an hour. It's a very, very scary sight indeed. So when the power is out and you can't call or text or access the internet, no matter how grumpy you are, you will never be able to make a meme again. When the grid goes down, so does GPS. No Google Maps, no internet, no phone signal. If you can't read a paper map, you're directionless. Learn how to understand scale, use landmarks, read topography, plan alternative routes. Guys, we have to think of Glenn when he was navigating Atlanta in The Walking Dead. Knowledge makes you mobile. Mobility keeps you alive. The first week of an outbreak is chaos. Panic kills faster than infection. If you flip out, freeze, or spiral emotionally, you become a liability to yourself and your group. You didn't binge watch survival shows just to die on day one. Stay calm, assess, adapt, move. Survival is 50% skill and 50% mindset. And those are my top 8 zombie survival skills I'd personally use if the dead ever start rising. I definitely need to implement tip 6 immediately, because if the apocalypse starts tomorrow, I might be zombie chow. Thank you so much for watching. I recently started watching The Walking Dead. I know, I'm late. But when it first came out, I was 8 years old. So please guys, cut me some slack. I just finished watching season 1, and so now I'm on season 2. And I think Rick Grimes is very, 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 very hot. My opinion. If you like this video, smash that thumbs up button quietly and subscribe so you never miss a video from me. See you next time. Bye.